Former Qatar World Cup workers' jail term angers human rights groups. A former World Cup 2022 worker has failed in his appeal against a jail sentence in Qatar, sparking fierce condemnation from human rights groups and a counterclaim from the authorities. Human Rights Watch and Foursquare believe that Abdullah Ibhais, a former World Cup 2022 media manager, was jailed after speaking about migrant rights issues in the country. They say that Ibhais was on Wednesday jailed for 3 years, a sentence reduced from the original 5 years, after being forced into a confession. They have also criticized FIFA for its conduct throughout Ibhais's case, saying it has enabled the Qatari authorities. Qatar insists Ibhais, who has been on hunger strike for a month, was jailed for soliciting bribes and not for speaking out against the kafala system in the country. That explanation was greeted with skepticism by Nicholas McGeehan, co-director of Foursquare. Speaking after Ibhais's sentence was confirmed, he said, "This case goes to the heart of the serious issues with Qatar's World Cup, and every day Abdullah Ibhais remains in jail more people will know his name, know what he did for the migrant workers who built Qatar's World Cup, and know the price he has apparently paid for that." It was Qatar's World Cup organizers who instigated this prosecution, but it was FIFA's silence that enabled today's verdict, for which there is no evidence other than a forced confession. The spotlight on the Qatari justice system and the abuse of its migrant workers will only intensify after what happened today. Qatar's authorities insist that Ibhais, who held the position of Deputy Communications Director for the Supreme Committee before being removed from the role in 2019, was sentenced on fraud charges relating to a contract to produce social media content for the 2022 World Cup. A Qatari official said, "The Court of Appeal has upheld its guilty verdict in the case of Mr. Abdullah Ibhais. He was convicted following the careful examination of an abundance of strong and credible evidence against him for soliciting bribes to influence the outcome of a state-funded procurement process. This evidence included extensive details of the crime, much more than the defendant's own confession." A statement from the Supreme Committee said that Ibhais received his full salary from the date of his suspension in November 2019 until August 2020, when he was made redundant along with numerous others as part of a budgetary structuring exercise. Ibhais's post-conviction allegations that the South Carolina conspired against him because of his views on migrant workers are ludicrous, defamatory, and absolutely false, it said. The South Carolina's work culture promotes and encourages staff raising issues and grievances, and particularly on the subject in question, worker welfare. The Supreme Committee also claimed that Ibhais had reapplied to work for it in March 2021 via a third-party agency. A FIFA spokesperson said, "Any person deserves a trial that is fair, where due process is observed and respected." FIFA has been following the case involving Mr. Ibhais and notes the statements from the Government Communications Office in Qatar and the Supreme Committee